YouTube. What's good, guys? It's your boy TD, and I'm back again with another live. And today's live is going to be on tomato situations. So I'm going to give you two players, and I'm going to ask the chat to comment in which guy you're going to take. So I started the poll. So hopefully, guys, I have time to do a poll for each scenario that I do. I got 10 scenarios. So make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. I said what I said. And guys, do the HBO special. It's called to Help a Brother Out. Click the three dots at the top of the right corner and hit the like button and share the content. Fantasy football is right around the corner, guys, as far as the daily procedures that we all know, waiver wires, stars of the week that's coming. Also, Baltimore Ravens rookie camp started today. So we got something to watch. Dollar bill, y'all. What's up, bro? He said, I got players in Dynasty, bro. Okay. Both players. Got you. That's, hey, I don't know how you did that, but hey, you killed it. Maybe 3 years ago, you could have got both guys. But now it's almost in, like, I don't know how you did that. I don't know how you can get Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. But that's incredible, bro. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So let's start off with the first scenario.
Let me take my drink. The first scenario is going to be
Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. And before I give you my answer, I'm going to break down their situations and what I think of them going into your 2024 fantasy football drafts. So, Jamar Chase, guys, I think Jamar Chase is one of the most explosive players in the league. He has really good hands.
he is a really good route runner.
Is he the best route runner in the league? No, he's not the best route runner in the league. Does he have the best hands in the league? No, he doesn't have the best hands, but he's not dropping passes, right? So I'm not really worried about that, but I'm just trying to break him down. His speed,
Getting behind the defense,
is elite. He might be top 2, top 3 with that. It might be only one, maybe two players that I say that can get behind the defense. What's going on, Siobhan? That I can say that can get behind the defense like Jamar Chase. Now, a couple situations or a couple things that I want to talk about Jamar Chase is Joe Burrow is elite, but he worries me. And the reason why, so Joe Burrow, his injury history, I don't think he's really injury prone, but I feel like he could get beat up at times. He stays in the pocket and he's trying to hit the deep ball. He's trying to make the big play, and that's great. But you also got to be able to stay healthy doing that. And sometimes you put your health at risk playing that type of ball. Him and Jamar. Jamar has had a hip injury. He's missed a couple weeks before.
so
A couple times. And so is Joe Burrow. Also, I think it's kind of like a one-trick pony with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. I don't believe that T. Higgins can beat you. Now, can he hit you with a couple good passes? Can he have a good game? Of course. T. Higgins is not garbage. He's not chopped liver, but to me, he's not upper echelon player or a guy that I really want in fantasy the way this team flows. Now, if he went on another team, he might be a guy that I might want to target. But I think if you can stop Jamar Chase, you can shut down his team. I don't think people are going to let Jamar Chase get behind the defense like they've done in the past. I think the corners, the safeties are going to be taught, hey, listen, if Jamar Chase is here, this is what we're doing. We're not going to let him get this. If you want to get the slant, give him the slant. We're not going to let him get the double move. We're not going to let him get the post. So to me, that makes me a little bit nervous about Jamar Chase. That's just my 2 cents about him. Moving on to Justin Jefferson. I call it, it's kind of like a president name, Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson is a great route runner.
Maybe the second best route runner, maybe number 1 route runner. He's a better route runner than Jamar Chase. He has better hands than Jamar Chase, but he's not more explosive than Jamar Chase.
I believe Justin
Jefferson can play better with quarterbacks that are not top tier. I think Jamar Chase most of the time needs a Joe Burrow type guy because he's more of a down the field guy.
Justin Jefferson
can beat you
anyway. He can run any route,
and he's very elite at it. Jamar Chase can do that too. But remember, we splitting hairs here. This is tomato. I believe Justin Jefferson is just a better route runner, and it doesn't really matter a lot about his quarterback. Now, at the ADP, it matters a little bit. So to me, guys, with Justin Jefferson not having Kirk Cousins this year and having Sam Darnold or having JJ McCarthy, I'm probably taking Jamar Chase. So I'm choosing Jamar Chase over Justin Jefferson.
And the reason why I believe
Jamar Chase is going to have more explosive plays. And I trust Joe Burrow, even with the injury history, over a Justin Jefferson. Or over Justin Jefferson and JJ McCarthy.
now in
a vacuum where, say, Kirk Cousins was still there and Joe Burrow is there with Cincinnati, I'm taking Justin Jefferson. But I need to go see more from Sam Darnold, and I need to see more from JJ McCarthy before I take Justin Jefferson over Jamar Chase. So Jamar Chase is going to be my guy between those two. Make sure you hit the like button, guys. Siobhan says, good morning. Yes. Siobhan says, Marathon, Lloyd or Jonathan Brooks? Marshawn Lloyd or Jonathan Brooks? I'm probably taking Jonathan Brooks.
Dollar Bill says
Jefferson is quarterback proof to me. He is quarterback proof. I agree with that. But we talking about elite. We splitting hairs. We talking Kobe, Michael Jordan. Not saying they the best two receivers ever to play the game, but I'm just telling you it's tough. So we're going to have to nitpick. And I'm nitpicking Justin Jefferson with him having a quarterback that needs to prove himself.
So I got to go with
the known commodity with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. That even though it's kind of a one-trick pony, I still rather have that this year, as in right now.
Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe
to this channel. This is cutting edge content, guys.
Okay, so let me see what the
chat saying. Who won this?
The chat saying Jamar Chase.
So it seems like everybody's kind of on the same page here. Zach says, I voted Jamar Chase. It was tough to choose that one. It was. That's why I did that one. And they about at the same ADP. They about at the same ADP. Siobhan says, what about the check downs given to JJ?
Right.
He's going to get check downs all day. I mean, that's what Justin Jefferson, he can run the route tree second to none. He's probably the best route runner in the league right now. I mean, it might be a couple of veterans like a Devontae Adams who might be a little bit better, maybe, arguably. But Jamar Chase can hit you with a 60, 70-yard pass at any time.
At any time. So I'd rather go with
that. I like big plays, not just because, oh, it's a big play. I like it because I believe you win with fantasy. Most leagues, you get a bonus for that. You get that 7 yards plus the 6, right? You get all of that at one time. So you can score. You have 18 points off one play. And Jamar Chase is known for that. That's why he went crazy and won people fantasy weeks a couple of years ago, fantasy championships, where he went for like 55 points and Joe Burrow went for 50-some points.
Because it's the big play. It wasn't that he
had 13 catches for 120, which Justin Jefferson is probably going to be a walking 13 catches for 110, 120 yards. That's probably what he's going to be. I don't know if they can push the ball downfield to Justin Jefferson like Kirk Cousins can, Sam Darnold and JJ McCarthy.
All right, so Jamar Chase.
So, all right, so let me do the next.
Poll. All right, I end that poll.
I'm gonna start another poll.
All right, we got 9 votes.
Let's get the likes up, fellas. We got 5 likes in here. We got 9 votes. All right, let me make sure that I can get. Where's the poll at? Okay, there we go. All right, this next poll, guys, you got to give me time to type it in. It's gonna be AJ Brown and Puka Nacua.
Okay. All right. All right. Put this in. All right, start the poll. There we go. All right.
So let me start with AJ Brown. I've been on AJ Brown since I started my channel. My third video that I ever started my channel, the third video that I did when I started my channel was the AJ Brown video, and I said he was a top 5 guy, and people said I was crazy. And I know I always say that, guys. I always tell you, go back and look at my early videos. They not great. I'm kind of like, in AJ, but I'm telling you the truth. The stuff that I'm saying is hitting, but it's not a smooth video. I wasn't as fluent as I am now. And I'm not saying I'm the most fluent guy, but I wasn't as fluent then. But my videos, pretty cutting edge content. Nobody starts off with those type of videos on these guys that nobody was on. AJ Brown, he's okay. He's going to be decent. They're not throwing the ball. There's not enough air yards for that team. So I love AJ Brown. This year, I think this is not going to be a hyper-target A.J. Brown season. And the reason why, I think they want to be a line of scrimmage team. And when I say line of scrimmage team, that means you want to control the line of scrimmage. So you want to pass and be efficient, kind of like the San Francisco 49ers. If you go look at Debo and Ayuk and Kittle, they not getting hyper-targeted, but they very efficient. They actually broke records last year being so efficient. I think the Eagles is going to be on that type of trajectory, right? It's going to be close to that. Not saying they're going to beat 49ers efficiency, but they're going to be close to that. So I'm a little bit off on AJ Brown at his original ADP, but the guy, when he's healthy, is one of the best wide receivers in the game. He's top 5, and he's probably on his way to be a Hall of Famer. It's going to be a lot of wide receiver Hall of Famers. I don't know if all these guys are going to get in according to their stats, because the stats said they should get in. They're going to be better than guys like Terrell Owens on a per basis. Just a lot of the old school wide receivers, Torrey Holt, those type of guys, Isaac Bruce, Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, they're going to have better stats than those guys. But I don't know if they're going to let them in, because everybody's had their points and their catches is all went up, right? So it's going to be easy kind of for a wide receiver to get in. I don't want to say easy, but y'all get what I'm saying. So I love AJ Brown. I just think this is going to be a Saquon Barkley team, and AJ Brown is going to be efficient. Do I think he still can get 8 to 10 receiver touchdowns? Yes, he can. So he's going to be a touchdown guy. So not he leads the league in targets or a top 5 in targets. I don't think he's going to be top 5 in targets. I think he could be top 24, top 14 in targets, but be very efficient, a lot of touchdowns. Going on, and that's what I think about A.J. Brown this year. Going on to Puka Nacua, I love Puka Nacua. I think Puka Nacua is ready to be a top 5, top 3 wide receiver in the league. Now, am I saying he's better than Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase? Not quite, but he's on that level. It's kind of like, is T-Mac as good as Kobe and D-Wade or whoever you want to say? T-Mac was on that level. T-Mac could be better. If he would have stayed healthy, he was on a Kobe Bryant type level as far as the points. Maybe not playoff and killer mentality, but his game, his stats, that's what I believe about Puka. I don't think he's necessarily Justin Jefferson yet, or Jamar Chase, or a couple other guys that we know about that I'm going to mention later in the video. But I believe Puka Nacua is on his way. And so I love Puka Nacua. I'm taking him. I think this is his breakout season. And I don't think the defense will have caught up with him yet. And so sometimes you got to transform your game, or it's going to be different type of a game plan that the coach is going to draw up. I think this team is going to be led by Puka Nacua. And Cooper Kupp still going to get the underneath targets.
So
I'm going out of these two guys, I'm going with Puka Nacua. I'd rather take Puka Nacua at the 1.7, 1.8 than before I'm taking AJ Brown, and he's probably going like between the 1.7, 1.8 all the way up to the 1.12. I'm taking Puka Nacua first. Now listen, if Puka Nacua is gone, I don't mind taking AJ Brown at the end of the first round.
I'm not telling you to
fade AJ Brown. I'm just telling you take him at a better ADP. Don't draft him over some of the guys who has more upside because of the offense, not the talent ability. That's why I wanted to do the tomato. I want to give a shout out. I forgot who did it. I think it was either Isaac. Appreciate you, Isaac. I want to shoot out one of my members of the channel or one of the subscribers of the channel, Isaac, or even Zach Seaman. One of these guys talked about doing a tomato section. I think it's great. It's really good content. It's probably one of the best contents I think it is, because this is decisions that you got to make. You're on the board. You got 30 seconds. You got Puka Nacua on the board, AJ Brown on the board. Where you going? That's real fantasy football right there. These are guys that are close to their value. People like different types of teams. I think this is really good.
So let me see. Let me check out the poll. Oh, we got
100% Puka Nacua. Wow.
100%
Puka.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. I like that. I agree. I'm going with Puka Nacua myself. Yes, sir. Let me see what some of the comments are saying. Get some to some of the comments.
Siobhan says, I was
Thinking about when I voted, but Burrows is a better quarterback. That was tough one, TD. Right. It was. That's why I did it. I want to do tough ones.
Sports.
Dog says, TD, do you think Cousins will fully recover from his injury fully? I know he's not a Russian quarterback, but will he still be mobile enough at his age to affect with the okay? Will he still be mobile enough? Will his age affect his recovery? Okay, I ain't got my glasses on, guys, so I gotta kind of squinch down. But
I don't think
he's going to be the Kirk Cousins that we think he can be, but he's going to be okay. I think he's going to be good for Drake London and Kyle Pitts. I think as the fourth quadrant gets here, I think he'll be okay quarterback. I think he'll be a top 12 guy. Kirk Cousins knows how to play the game, so he will be okay. But I'm fading Kirk Cousins kind of because of what you're saying. I just don't want to bank on that when there's so many other good quarterbacks out there. But I do think he will be serviceable. I think he will be able to target Drake London and Kyle Pitts and
B. John Robinson
and be a decent quarterback for fantasy. So if he
did fall to you.
I think you'll be fine.
Dollar Bill
says Eagles going to run the ball downhill a lot more this year with Saquon. Come on, Dollar Bill. That's what I've been saying. A lot of people disagree with that, and that's okay, right? That's okay. But I believe that why you bring in Saquon for Jalen Hurts to be throwing the ball a lot. Now, he's going to throw the ball, but it's going to be efficient ball. It's going to be kind of like the San Francisco 49ers. They're going to throw to be efficient. They're not going to throw just to beat you with the throw. They're going to be a run control offense. And then Jalen Hurts going to throw and have great windows to throw in because you're trying to stop the run.
All right.
So let's move on, guys. Let's move on. Zach says AJ Brown versus Garrett Wilson. Yes, I thought about doing that when I did another one with Garrett Wilson that I thought was kind of good. But I would go with.
That's a good one,
Zach. That's a good one.
I'm probably going with
Garrett Wilson because I think he's going to get more targets than AJ Brown. But I think AJ Brown's going to have more touchdowns. So I don't know who's going to end up. I don't know if the touchdowns are going to be better or the targets. The target guy is going to be Garrett Wilson. He probably going to lead the league in targets. And AJ Brown can be one of the a top touchdown guy as a wide receiver in the league. So it depends on what you want.
Jacob,
what's up, Rivera? Jacob Rivera in the house. He says Puka over AJ for sure. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, let's end this poll. Let's go with another poll. All right, the next
poll, guys, is going to be
Chris Olave
or Garrett Wilson, tomato. Chris Olave or Garrett Wilson. I actually think the Garrett Wilson and the AJ Brown was really good. And I wanted to do that one, but I wanted to get Chris Olave into one.
And I think they kind of
ADP kind of the same.
So I'm gonna do them quick, guys.
I'm kind of gonna put in the last name. I'm not gonna try to type it because I don't want to be sitting here and having dead time on the video.
All right. All right, so
Let me
break down Chris Olave.
I think Chris Olave is a fast wide receiver. I think he has good hands, and I think he's a crafty route runner. But I think he's a smaller guy. Pause. So I don't think he's an alpha wide receiver where I'm going to use him as the outside guy. Now, can he lead your team in targets and stuff like that in the slot? Yes, he can. I think he's a way better Julian Edelman. I think he could be a souped up Julian Edelman. I don't think he's a
Tyreek Hill.
right. I don't think he's an outside wide receiver who's going to command 12 targets and beat the number one corner every time. I think he can be the number one corner, but I don't want to put that pressure on. I want him to be in the slot, get using his skill set. That's what he did for Ohio State. Garrett Wilson and Marvin Harrison and those guys was on the outside. Chris Olave was the guy that they would put in the slot to get mismatches. He wasn't the outside number one guy, but he had a lot of big plays because he's really good at what he does. And I think he's out of position with the way the Saints are using him. They want to use him as some number one alpha. He gonna lead the league in yards and like Jamar Chase or something. That's not who he is. So that's what That's why I'm kind of fading Chris Olave. Going to Garrett Wilson, we don't know what his quarterback. Garrett Wilson is talented, but I don't know who his quarterback. Like I like Aaron Rodgers. He's coming off an Achilles injury, but he could go down again. He's 40 years old. But to go ahead and get this going and pick my guy, I'm going with Garrett Wilson. And the reason why I'm going with Garrett Wilson because I believe that Chris Olave is going to be in a competition for targets on his team with Rashid Shaheed. Now, he's going to lead that team in targets as long as he's healthy. But I think Rashid Shaheed could
Be more of a better fan.
fantasy play than Chris Olave at that ADP. Well, Rashid Shaheed's going in like round 8 or 9, maybe later, just depending on the format, best ball or whatever. And so I'd rather take Garrett Wilson at the second round. I think Garrett Wilson's going early second round, late first round. And Chris Olave is going around there too, between 2-1 all the way up to 2-3, 2-4.
In the leagues that I'm in, single quarterback leagues. And super flex, he might be going a little bit later. So yes, I'm going with Garrett Wilson.
So let me see what the looks
Looks like Garrett Wilson is.
is winning this.
So let me see what the chat's saying. Nifty says Wilson easily.
Easily. Okay. Dollar Bill says talent is similar, but I have to go with the better quarterback play on this one. Okay. So I guess who you going with? Who's that, Dollar Bill? Who got the better quarterback? I guess you would say Aaron Rodgers, even though he's a little older.
Zach says Wilson.
Siobhan says Wilson gonna get targeted by Rodgers all day long. Right. Travis, what's up, bruh? That's one of my homies. Been supporting the channel for a long time. What's up, bruh? Aaron Holloway in the building. What's up, bruh? He says, good morning, TD and everyone. Yes. Dollar Bill says Wilson. Right. Aaron Holloway says Wilson. So, yes, guys, I guess Wilson is the winner. I'm going with Wilson myself.
Okay, let's go on.
Let's get on to some running backs here. Let me end this one.
See, Wilson run 88%.
8% to 12%. So we probably had like 1 vote for Olave out of 8 votes, maybe 2. The rest of everybody else went with Wilson.
Okay. So I end that poll.
Let's get ready to go on to the next one. All right.
I need some moderators to help.
Help me. This is when moderators need to come into play. All right.
This is going to be a running back.
Back.
All right. All right. Okay. And it's going to be,
Guys, this next tomato is going to be David Montgomery or Gus Edwards.
David Montgomery
or Gus Edwards.
Okay. So, excuse me. So guys,
Let me talk about David Montgomery first.
I think David
Montgomery value is really good, and I know he's playing with or playing has another elite running back on the same team, but I'm okay with that. I still think David Montgomery value is sweet, where you can go zero RB and get a guy like David Montgomery, or you can get Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery and play them together and
squeeze that backfield.
somebody
Somebody
gonna be elite. One of those running backs gonna be top 12 every week. I guarantee you that. One of those running backs is going to be top 12 every week. And it's a few times where they both can be top 12. They happened about 2 or 3 times last year. Maybe one of them might be even number 3 or number 2, and then the other one wait on the outside of top 12, which is elite, right? That's why I talk about squeeze, and nobody talks about that. Again, I went on a tangent last night. Go check that video out about my top five tight ends, and I talked about a lot of stuff that I do. People take it and then act like it's kind of like me just zibber zabber. But then when I watch people how they do in mock drafts and I watch how they talk, you picked it up, but you don't give no credit for it. They nobody talk about squeezing no backfield. Now they might say you can play 2 guys at a certain point in time, but I call it a squeeze. And that's a good strategy. And you see people it's going to be happening. And I'm going to see how people are going to act when people start getting 2 running backs on the same team that's elite and
playing them at the same time.
to make sure they get that boom. Because they don't want to. You don't want to miss the boom. You don't want to say, well, who am I playing? David Montgomery or Jahmyr? Jahmyr had a little bit of an ankle injury. I don't know. And then you play David and Jahmyr goes off. Like, so I say play both guys. So, like I said, David Montgomery is one of the best value guys for 0 RB. Going on to Gus Edwards, if y'all haven't heard, they came out with some new news. And the new news said that Gus Edwards is going to be the prime running back there. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to be the prime running back all season long. He could go down with an injury. He's been nicked up his whole career. I do like Kamani Waddle as a handcuff type, not a squeeze, because Kamani is not going to come out there and get carries like Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. I think Gus is going to get all the goal line touches. Nobody's going to take his goal line touches. David Montgomery is not going to get 100% of the goal line touches, but he's going to get 60 to 70% because he's
a bigger back, and they just
want to save Jahmyr Gibbs for playoff time and when they really need him. They don't want Jahmyr Gibbs is a smaller running back. He's like 205, 210. Very explosive, but you don't want to give him 15 or 20 touches a game. You want to kind of, maybe 10, 12, then you might have a game where you give it to him 20. But you don't want to keep doing that. David Montgomery is a very strong guy. He can squat like 700 pounds, so he can take 25 carries per game and be healthy. He's showed you that.
So
I like the guy that I'm going with. I would rather wait and get Gus Edwards, because I know he's getting 100% of the goal line carries. That's why I'm taking Gus Edwards over David Montgomery.
Less competition
For goal line carries. I don't care nothing about what's going on between the 20s. Those are low value touches for fantasy football. The high value, the honey touches, that's another one of my terms. The honey touches is what matters. Those are optimal premium touches. And Gus is going to get more of that than David, because David got competition. If Jahmyr start getting off, they might give Jahmyr the ball more that game.
So I'm going with
Gus Edwards. Let me see what the comment. Oh, okay. So this is where we first got some difference. I like this. This is going to be good. Okay. So we got Dollar Bill. He says, Monty, 800 yards to 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns. And I think that's around his stats. That's what it's probably going to be. Aaron Holloway says Edwards, because he doesn't have to worry about another running back taking his touches. I agree. And he's going to get all the honey touches. That's my point, too. I would agree with that. Even though Monty going to have 800 and 1,000, Gus can have 14, 15 touchdowns, rushing touchdowns, depending on this offense. Now, and also Detroit got a better offense. I want to be fair. Detroit probably going to score more times than the Chargers. So the honey touches might not be as much, as frequent. Zach says Montgomery because better offense. Okay, that's what Zach is saying. But both those running backs going to get goal line touches, right? And Jahmyr going to get some too now. Don't think Jahmyr, they're just going to treat him, okay, you got us down here and take you out. There are going to be the games where, you know what, Jahmyr, you hot. I'm going to let you score. They did it at the end of the season. David Montgomery stopped getting 80 and 90% of the goal line carries. And I talked about David Montgomery also last year and said that if you draft Jahmyr Gibbs, he's not going to be a first quadrant player. He's going to break out because he's a rookie in the fourth quadrant, and that happened. And when he started getting carries, he was getting some goal line touches. He wasn't getting as much as David Montgomery, but it was 60-40 for goal line. It was 60% David Montgomery and 40% Jahmyr Gibbs. And I don't have exact numbers, but I would say vet me on that, and I'm pretty sure I would stand on that. So, but yeah, Montgomery can have close to 1,000 yards this year.
Dollar Bill says Monty.
For me, Lonely B, what's up, bro? He said at ADP, I'm taking Gus Edwards. I agree 100%.
He says that ADP, he's taking Gus Edwards, and I agree.
The ADP is good, and he don't have any competition. Siobhan says taking Monty. Respect that. There's nothing wrong with nobody taking Monty. I don't think anybody is crazy. None of these tomatoes, you're not going to be crazy going with either guy. That's why these are good videos. These are good lives. Zach Seaman says Gus Edwards over Chase Brown. Yes, of course. That's easy. To me, that's easy.
Because of the goal line carries
and no competition. Nifty says, Monty, I need enough honey for them touches to matter, right? He said, I need enough honey for them touches to matter, right? He needs to be on the goal line. That's where he eats at. But he
had some big plays
last year too. He had a couple big plays, big runs last year. I remember that. All right, so let me look at the poll. We got Montgomery 75%. We got Gus Edwards at 25%. That's great stuff, guys. That's great stuff. Charlene, what's going on, Charlene? She said, hey, TD, drafting Jerome Ford. Yahoo has him at 140 player. Yes, I agree. I think he's one of the best values. I'm going to have to do a single video on him. He's one of the best values in the draft. People still talking about Nick Chubb. I'm not touching Nick Chubb with a 10-foot pole. Pause.
Okay.
So let's go on to my next one. Let me end this poll. Yes, sir.
And let me make a new poll. And this another poll, I'm going back
to the wide receivers. I'm going back to the wide receivers.
Okay. All right.
And it's going to be Tank Dell or Chris Godwin. Tomato.
Tank Dell or
Chris Godwin. So let me talk about Tank Dell. A lot of mouths to feed on that offense. We know Tank Dell is very explosive, and he was on his way to be almost a top 5 wide receiver for 3 weeks before he got hurt. He was killing it for 3 weeks. And along with Nico, both of these guys was top 12 on a weekly basis for about 3 weeks before one of them went down with the broken ankle.
So
I love Tank Dell. Now, can Tank Dell be the number 1 wide receiver? He could be, but I'm not gonna sit here and make that prediction. I'm gonna have to see it, right? I'm gonna have to watch it. But I do think he's gonna be the number 1 receiver a couple weeks out of 17 weeks. He might be the number one wide receiver for week 4, week 7, week 9, and week 17. Where Nico might be week 1 and week 2, and then week 10 and week 11. And then Stephon Diggs, you get the point. So I like Tank. I like him better than the other guys because I can wait and get him and get a part of this offense. This is going to be elite. This is going to be elite offense. So I can wait late and get Tank Dell, and I'm okay with getting a part of this offense. I don't want to go and get Stephon Diggs or Nico early in the 3rd or 4th round. Now listen, if Nico or Stephon, they make it down to the draft board, like if they go round 7 or 8 or something like that, then yeah, that's great value, fantastic. So I want the last guy. The last guy that is going to get drafted, maybe the second guy, depending on the ADP value. Going on to Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin's moving back to the slot. If you look in the 4th quadrant, he went into the slot and he started eating, and he was, I think he finished top 5 one week and then top 12 the rest of the weeks in the 4th quadrant. That's your fantasy football playoffs. So I like Chris Godwin this year, going back like the way Tom Brady used him as a slot wide receiver. So the guy that I'm going with, that I'm picking, is going to be Chris Godwin.
No matter what happens,
Even though they got Mike Evans, he's an older wide receiver. They got I think it's Trey Palmer, right? If I'm mistaken, I don't know who's the other third wide receiver. The guy's a speed guy, but I feel good about Chris Godwin. I think Chris Godwin's going to get 8 to 10 targets a game, and that's easy.
that's easy. Guys, make sure you hit the like button.
But we got 15 people in here. Let's get the lights up.
So
I'm choosing Chris Godwin, guys. I think he's more safer and more consistent. Where I don't know if Tank Dell is going to be consistent because of all the mouths to feed, the pause on Houston.
Okay. So let's see. Zach Seaman says,
I voted Godwin. Charlene says voted Godwin. Siobhan says Godwin going in the slot number 2 option on Tampa Bay with Houston. Too many mouths to feed. Facts. But I do like Tank Dell and would take him if Godwin's not there. Right. Charlene says lower your expectations on Houston. I can't do it. I think Houston. I'm taking C.J. Stroud. I'm not taking none of the other wide receivers per se, but C.J. Stroud going to ball out. Now if he don't, that's something that I'm gonna have to be totally wrong on, and I'm gonna have to go down with that ship. But I love C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud is my number 1 quarterback.
that's just me. Like I said,
I could be wrong. Nobody's 100% correct, but I love C.J. Stroud. I think he has the best weapons in the NFL this year. And the way they're gonna deploy him. If you watched him last year, he can handle that.
Zach says, "What do
What do you think about Nico Collins this year? I love Nico Collins. It's just all about ADP, man. I'm not really getting to him in Dynasty. Yeah, I got him on, and I'm starting him in Dynasty leagues where I got 3 wide receiver leagues. 3 wide receiver leagues. I got him, and I'm starting. He helped me win a couple championships last year. He helped me make it to the playoffs in a couple leagues last year. Out of 13, 14 leagues, guys, I made it to the playoffs in like 7 or 8 of those leagues. 7 or 8 of those leagues, I made it to the playoffs. So I had Nico in a lot of leagues. I've been stashing Nico. I liked him coming out of Michigan. He was a jump ball wide receiver. And I'm very impressed by him, how he fine-tuned his route running. He was, to me, was a jump ball contesting catch guy. And he ended up being a guy who could get in and out of his breaks quick for a 6'3" guy.
So Nico Collins
Worked on his game. He worked on his route running, became the wide receiver that he is. That's why he got that deal. Guys, if he wouldn't have had that season last year, he might would have got franchise tagged or something. But he had such a good year.
he got himself a big time deal. Congratulations to Nico.
But when it comes to fantasy
And
and redraft, I'm probably not going to be getting to him. I'd rather have a guy like maybe even the Devontae Smith or Waddle, right? Maybe Michael Pittman. Those guys are number 1s, but they going at his ADP, and they don't have that many guys that I think are fighting for competition.
Shirley says the
Texans DST gets better. Stroud will throw less. You could be right. That's a great assessment, Charlene. That defense is going to be a top 5 defense. I will say that. I saw them last year. They played against Lamar pretty good. Will Anderson was balling out. What you call it? The coach, I can't think of his name right now. He played linebacker. He was calling a hell of a game. Guys, in the comment section, let me know what his name is. I forgot his name, but he called a hell of a game, and he's going to be a great defensive coordinator and a great head coach in this game.
But you're right, they could be up.
But what I will say, sometimes if you want a player to win an MVP,
I think
they still throw the ball more than what you think. I think they could be up by 14 points and still step on your neck and throw the ball. That's my 2 cents on that. I think they won't. I don't think they want C.J. Stroud to have 28 touchdowns or 30. He had 30 as a rookie, and he missed 2 or 3 games.
Got a late start.
I think this year he's going to throw for 40 because they want to say, listen, this is what we drafted. C.J. is one of the best quarterbacks in the game, and C.J. got that alpha mentality like Tom Brady. Hey, I want to show y'all, I want to prove to y'all I'm one of the best quarterbacks in the league, if I'm not the best quarterback in the league. So that, to me, overrides that, but you make a great point. I do think they're going to be winning more games and blowing teams out.
Charlene says
Texans coaches. Okay, what up?
Zach says I'm avoiding
Diggs. Gotcha. I'm avoiding anybody that got an early ADP. I don't have no bad feelings about none of the players. I think they all are good wide receivers. Charlene says the Texans DST. Okay, we got that one. Siobhan says if you have to pick someone, I pick Tank Dell, better ADP. I agree. I'm taking the guy who's gonna go the last, right? Who has the best ADP, and that's Tank Dell, as in right now. But I did see Stephon Diggs go later in the draft that I'm in right now, where Stephon Diggs was the last guy. Charlene says Texans coaches don't want to throw the ball 45 times a game, rest Stroud to the playoffs. I disagree a little bit. I think they want him to cook. They do want him to cook. But at the end of the game, he could, maybe they run the ball a little bit more to Joe Mixon. But I do think CJ Stroud cooks. TZ says
Godwin
less competition. I agree. Lonely B, what's up, bro? What's going on with you, TZ? I see you in the house. Lonely B says Tank Dell has the higher upside. Godwin could be the fourth option in their end zone behind Evans, right? White and even Iden. That's true far as goal line. I mean, green zone touches for a wide receiver or green zone targets. I agree. That's facts right there. But he gonna be hyper targeted though. He gonna get 10 targets a game. I would say that. But it's all if it's PPR or half point PPR, that matters too. Charlene says like Shanahan, right? How they throw, but then when they get up, they kind of run the ball, right? Okay, so we got Godwin. He won it. Good shit, guys. Good stuff here. All right, let me end that poll. Let's move on.
Okay. This next one is gonna
be on 2 wide receivers, guys. We got a lot of I got some running backs coming, but this is another wide receiver one. This is gonna be a good one right here. This is gonna be good.
This is gonna be saucy.
It's gonna be spicy. So go get some water.
All right. All right. All right, guys. So
this next one is going to be
Amon-Ra
or CeeDee Lamb.
Amon-Ra
or CeeDee Lamb.
Tomato.
So Amon-Ra. Guys, I said Amon-Ra 3 years ago was a top 5 wide receiver. And I'm gonna keep drilling this, and I'm gonna speak it. I'm gonna keep speaking it.
Everybody said I was crazy.
Not everybody, but 70% of the people that watch my videos will come and troll me, and they ain't trolls. You can say, well, those are just trolls. No, there was guys that disagree with me. Like I was, this is saucy, man. If you wrong, your channel gonna go down.
And I said Amon-Ra was
a top 5 guy. I said he could be one of the best wide receivers in the league. People said I was crazy.
And then he balled out. They was like,
he top 12. He's top 12. And I said, you know what? I'm taking Amon-Ra after Tyreek Hill. Amon-Ra is a top 5 pick. Ooh, that's saucy, TD. You taking him in the top 5? Yes, I'm taking him in the top 5. That was last year. And now everybody, when I say it, it's almost like a white noise now. Yeah, Amon-Ra. Yeah, everybody on Amon-Ra. Yeah, Amon-Ra. Everybody on Amon-Ra, man. We know Amon-Ra good. Oh yeah, you know Amon-Ra's good. And I'm not talking to guys that follow my channel. I'm just go read the comments on my Amon-Ra St. Brown videos from 2 years ago.
So
I believe Amon-Ra should be the number 2 pick off the board in most leagues.
First, especially in 4 PPR.
I think he's the safest player in the first round. Now he don't have the biggest boom, but he's going to be getting 12 targets a game most of the time, and he's going to be killing underneath, and he's going to also hit you with some big plays too. Amon-Ra is a monster. If Anquan Bolden and Antonio Brown had a baby, quote unquote, right? Pause. I believe that would be Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think he is built like Anquan Bolden, but he's short and he's quick like Antonio Brown.
So that's how
I feel about Amon-Ra. I love him this year. He's the top guy. I'm taking him outside a couple other guys. I might take them before him, but I'm going with Amon-Ra in 4 PPR league. Going on to the next guy, CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb. Now, CeeDee Lamb is, to me, is always, he surprised me a little bit this year. Now he did struggle in the first quadrant, but he ended up being elite, and he was almost like what, a top 2 wide receiver, maybe 3, maybe finished as the number 2 wide receiver to Tyreek Hill this year. CeeDee Lamb is special, and he's gonna get hyper target, and he don't have any competition. So CeeDee Lamb being drafting him number 1 is not crazy. I'm not drafting him, but that don't mean that's bad. Just because I say I'm not doing something, don't mean that I'm right or wrong, right? It just means that's my opinion. Sometimes this stuff comes down to opinion or your taste, right? Just because you like shrimp and I don't like shrimp and I like crab, don't make one of us nasty. Oh, you like crab, that's nasty, but I like shrimp and that's better. That don't mean it. It's just what you like. Because these guys are both of these guys are elite. So, CeeDee Lamb, he's just balanced all over. He can jump ball you. He can make you miss. He's very dynamic in the open field, right? He got yak ability, like at a high level yak guys. He can make guys miss when the ball is in his hands. He's good at route running. He's not the best route runner, but he's a top 12 route runner in the league, which is elite, right? As far as for the NFL. So he can do it all. But with all that said, I haven't looked at the poll yet, and y'all pretty much know who I'm going to say that I'm taking. It's going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown. And the reason why, I think he's just more safe. Dak Prescott is okay. I'm not saying I feel any type of way about Dak, but I trust Jared Goff in this offense, in this finely tuned motor machine that the Detroit Lions are.
So I'm going with
Amon-Ra over CeeDee Lamb.
Okay.
TZ says, I like Kyler Murray over CJ Stroud. He got that rushing upside, which really is a game changer. Facts. And he got that ADP, which can overtake CJ in overall fantasy points. I agree with that. I'm not arguing that. That's why I'm okay about people waiting late to get quarterbacks. This is you can do that this year. Have nothing to say.
Zach Seaman says,
do tomato IDPs. I will be. That a lot of people don't do IDPs, man. I got an IDP league and people won't get into it right now. You into the league. So I got to do IDP sparingly. TZ says, Amon-Ra is safe, more consistent. Facts. Lamb has more upside. And I don't know, the Cowboys might regress. I agree. I think they are on the way to regress. The team lost more this year. I will go Amon-Ra. I agree. That's my opinion. Charlene says you have to wait until Prescott get hot. Game 3 or for game. Yeah, I think I get what you're saying. Yeah, Prescott, he doesn't start off hot. Pause. It might take him to the second quadrant. I agree with that. That's what happened last year. Siobhan says, won't Sun God, but think Lamb will be getting more fantasy points. It's possible. It's close.
Siobhan.
That's what she says. Charlene says, I love Bijan this season. They leached him last year. This year they will unleash him. Right.
They will be unleashing him.
That's why I love Bijan too.
Frankie, what's up,
bro? Frankie says, why St. Brown over Lamb? Lamb has no target competition and has already showed you he can be the number 1. I need a better explanation. The reason why is because Amon-Ra is more safer. I don't believe in Dak Prescott with this one-trick pony, go to Lamb every single time. Do you believe in Jake Ferguson is going to be balance this team out and make this team be dynamic? Do you believe in Jalen Tolbert? What about Brandon Cooks? Now listen, CeeDee Lamb can get 15 targets a game and go off. That's fine. I'm not saying that can't happen, and that's kind of what you're saying. But I'm not going to bank on that. I'd rather bank on Amon-Ra with his safe ADP, safe targets, and him getting 18 points a game. And then maybe CeeDee Lamb do get 22 points a game. But I don't want that boom at that point in time. Not over Amon-Ra. Other players, yeah, if you want to see CeeDee Lamb over Jamar Chase or something like that, where that's both kind of volatile and then you trying to get the boom, I can get that. But to me, Amon-Ra is so safe on the board, man. I just can't pick that type over him. I don't know if there's a wide receiver, maybe and I hate to say this, but I go ahead. Maybe Tyreek Hill. That's the only guy that I'm willing to go because I feel like he's safe. You know he gonna get the targets. You know this offense is finally tuned. They ain't lose nobody. That's the only guy I'm willing to take as a wide receiver over Amon-Ra. I'm taking Amon-Ra over Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Puka Nacua, AJ Brown. I'm taking Amon-Ra over those guys. So that's my opinion. The other people in the chat might say different things, and that's good. That's what I want us to do is chop it up.
Let's see here. Charlene says, I don't like
IDP. Lonely B says, and I get it. I love IDP. I love IDP. IDP is part of the game. I love that's, and I know it's not quite the same, but to me that would be like saying, man, just get on offense. I don't want to see defense. Just go out there and let the guys throw it down the field and play tag. These defensive players are elite too. I love to see them go and make great plays too. That's just my 2 cents, but I get it. In a fantasy football vacuum, when it's about scoring and offense, but to me, the way I like the game, I like to play the chess of the game. I like to see what the defensive coordinators are doing. That's why I'll be on players that a lot of y'all don't understand or agree with, and I could be wrong. It don't mean I'm gonna be right on them because I watch the game from a defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, chess, how to get mismatches. So I love IDP. I love it. I actually only a few leagues that I play in that's not IDP, and those are leagues that I've been in with friends. Other than that, I want to do IDP. Lonely B says Dallas struggles in all phases of getting the ball in the end zone. Facts. That is true. But they got hot in the second and third quadrant, or third and fourth quadrant last year. They got hot. They was doing really good at that point. They are a between the 20s elite type team. That's what puts Amon-Ra over CD for me. Okay, that's his opinion. That's what Lonely says, Frankie. TZ says, yeah, with your first round pick, I can't afford to wait a few weeks in order to get hot. Facts. That's how I feel too. I want to make sure it's going to be, I got to feel good about it all year long, no matter what. TJ said the Lions have way more weapons and they can't just double Amon-Ra. Right. So it's going to keep Amon-Ra always open. CD can be double. I agree. That's another thing that I always talk about. But some guys, even though you can think you can double them, they so good. I'm not saying CD ain't that, but I need to see more. Like I saw Justin Jefferson play through that where they didn't have nothing but him. I mean, Jordan Addison and those guys are pretty good. TJ Hawkinson. But I saw what Justin was getting double teamed. He was going up over two guys making plays. I'm not saying CeeDee Lamb can't do that. I don't think CeeDee Lamb was getting doubled a lot last year, but he was beating double teams. So I'm not going to sit here and disrespect CeeDee or beating double teams too. Zach Jones, what's up, bro? Glad to see you here, man. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Cutting edge content here. He says, what round should I draft Anthony Richardson? Feel like he's going to have a huge year. It depends. So in single quarterback leagues, I would say between round 4 and 6. I don't know when your quarterback run is going to happen. So if the quarterback run happens in the 3rd round, you might have to go get him in the 3rd or the 4th. But I would say preferably round 4 or 5. Maybe the 6th, 7th quarterback off the board. So I think Anthony. Now listen, you make sure when you get Anthony Richardson, you go back in that pool and get you another quarterback in case something happens with him. So maybe you go and get Joe Flacco as a handcuff just to make sure, because I'm okay with having Joe Flacco as a handcuff too. I'm okay with having Joe Flacco as a handcuff. So, but you got to get a quarterback to back him up. You can't get him and you say you good with quarterbacks, because if he go down, it's going to be hard to go back in that pool and get somebody, because Jaden Daniels probably going to be gone. Caleb Williams is going to be gone. You got to have to depend on Drake May or somebody like that if Anthony Richardson goes down with another injury. And he's volatile because of his rushing upside. Let me see. Zach says Jordan Love or Kyler Murray. That's another good one. Another good tomato.
That's tough, man. That is tough.
I'm frozen. I'm frozen. I'll probably say Jordan Love, but I'm off of my chinny chin chin. It's very very close, very very close. I'm good with either one, but I'm gonna say Jordan Love if you put a gun to my head, no pun intended, right? I would say Jordan Love. That's a great one, Zach. That's a great one.
Charlene says,
Question: Prescott or Golf? I'm going with Golf. I'm going with Golf. I don't like Prescott weapons. I don't know if even Dallas want to resign Prescott unless he takes a discount. I don't know if he's going to take the discount, but I would say Golf. But it's it's not that's not a terrible question. Prescott is when he gets hot, he could be the number one quarterback. We saw that last 3 years of his career.
Frankie says, perfect.
Explanation. You always got a rhyme to your reason. That's why I'm always listening, bro. Thank you, Frankie. I respect that. That's the type of, and I'm not sitting here saying that's not blowing no smoke. TD, you the best. That's not what I want. But this is the type of stuff that I think that my subscribers should respect and reciprocate to help my channel grow. I don't need you to go in super chat. I say it because that's the part of the game, right? I don't need you to sign up as a membership, but I say it because that's part of the game. I don't need you to hit the like button, but it's part of the game. I'm not asked. I just want to be able to chop it up and we keep it real. But I know what my content is and I know what I hit on and I know when I don't hit. And I'm gonna have a method to my madness no matter what. And I'm gonna go down with the ship. I'm not gonna sit here and say, guys, I don't want to talk about that. Let's just move forward, right? I'm gonna be real about it. But this type of comment lets me know that this is what I'm trying to portray outwardly. Like, okay, this is why I'm going with this guy, and this is how I'm looking at it. But there's other opinions that matters too. That's why we all a community. We all don't know any, we're all together, we know it all, but one of us don't know it all, right? I know there's a little bit of a tongue twister. So that's why I like to bring other people up. Now, I do believe in myself with my knowledge of my players. I do think I'm elite. I do think that I could go to an NFL team and I could go scout out players at college level. I've done it before. I've done it in my local community. I've been on people that nobody thought was going to be good. I said certain things that nobody said and been right on all throughout my life watching the football and also other sports.
So just wanted to say that, guys.
Just wanted to say that. TZ says, that's a tough one, but I would go with Kyler Murray just because he tends to rush more, and I respect that. That's a tough one. Listen, Zach with the tomato, man. This guy is very, very knowledgeable. Harambe, what's up, bruh? He said, what's up, TD? I'm gonna have to rewatch and join late. No, bro, you good. I know it was early on the West Coast, man. It's 7 to 8 o'clock. So, bro, it's all good. It's all good, bro. Appreciate you tuning in, man. You always come to all the lives, bro. Guys, make sure you tune in to Fantasy After Dark tonight at 11 o'clock p.m. That's one of the shows that I always, got tuned. Now, listen, the mock drafts, yes, those are on Sunday, guys. But you got to understand, guys, and I want to speak to this. I know we was talking last night. Somebody said, well, TD, you need to be, this channel is great, man. Just be consistent, da-da-da-da-da. And all this about being consistent, but I'm like, guys, I ain't never missed a waiver wire video. Now, if my internet went out on me while I was doing the video or something, that's totally different. But I ain't never in the season missed a video. All season, guys, that's gravy. Guys, there's channels right now. They're not doing videos every day. They're not following no format. They're not being, they might have more subscribers for whatever reason. I'm not going to sit there and say it ain't better format than what I got, right? But me being like, if I miss a mock draft, that's not me not being consistent. That's me trying to grow my channel. I have another job, 9 to 5. I have to come home and do research. Now, I'm good. I watch football all day long, so a lot of stuff is in my head, but I still have to go and write these players down and put ADPs down and be able to put my thoughts together to make my PowerPoint, right? It's like almost like I'm creating a PowerPoint. So, I'm a growing channel. I'm only at 3,000, right? So you got to give me a little bit of break. I got a job. When I go do this full time, you're going to get these shows and they're going to be timed out. 12 o'clock, every day at 12 o'clock, this is coming. Every day at 6 o'clock, this is coming. Every day at 10 o'clock, this is coming. And all the way out through the season. But when I have a job, something might come up. I might have to work overtime. I might have to do something. And I got the show set up and I can't meet it, then that's bad business. But if I had to just pop the live out and do the video before certain things happen, I'm okay with that. I just want to give y'all that 2 cents to understand what I'm going to. I don't want you to feel sorry for me because I love the grind. And that's the more I see comments and stuff like that, being consistent, it just makes me where I can't sleep. I want to get up and do fantasy football content.
Okay.
Let me see, guys. Let's go. This is a little bit long-winded, but I do like y'all know how my lives are. I want to talk through stuff. Give everybody the attention that they deserve. Charlene says my first 3 to 4 picks are not risky picks. Facts. Right.
Lonely B says
Anthony Richardson is being evaluated on an extremely small sample size. We haven't seen teams adapt after seeing his tape. That's true, but I'm gonna still go with his upside. I feel okay with his upside, but I agree with you. You got to be able to adapt. Jalen Hurts he's gonna have to adapt. You got to adapt. Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes has been great, and the reason why Pat Mahomes has been great adapting is because of Andy Reid. He got a great coach like Andy Reid who's already adapting. Andy Reid right now, guys, is 5 steps ahead of everybody. Everybody think, well, this is what they're gonna be throwing it deep to Xavier Worthy. You don't know what they're gonna be doing. You don't know what. He's winning Super Bowls with MVS as a #1 wide receiver.
He's winning with Kadarius
Toney out there dropping plenty of balls. Only thing he got that's really, really consistent is Travis Kelce and Pat Mahomes. That's it. That's why I said I'm not high on Pacheco. Now, Pacheco, I don't think they're just going to give Pacheco all the goal line carries and he's going to be getting those green zone touches because his team is scoring a lot of points. I think this is a Pat Mahomes team, but they always stay steps ahead. And, yeah, so Anthony Richardson is going to have to grow his game. They're not going to let him just run the ball for touchdowns his whole career. Charlene says, I should wrote, which quarterback do you trust, Prescott or Goff? No, you good. And I said Goff. I trust Goff over Prescott.
TZ says, yeah, fantasy
is tricky. Injuries and coaching strategy can offset players' output. Right. It's a lot of stuff that comes into this. It's several ways to look at this. It's 9 ways to skin a cat. I always talk about that. It's 9 ways to skin a cat. I skin a cat one way, I might skin it another way. Guess what? You might skin it another way. And guess what? The way you skin a cat might beat me that year.
It's 9 ways to skin
a cat. There's no one way to do anything. Charlene says Mahomes doesn't have to prove himself now. No, he doesn't. So that's why I'm not drafting a lot of Mahomes. I don't think he's going to be throwing for crazy amounts of yards. He will be doing it in certain games, but they're trying to win Super Bowls. So when the playoffs come, that's when Mahomes going to turn it up. And, at the end of it in the fourth quadrant, they're not going to be playing a lot, like playing to try to throw for 5 touchdowns. They don't want to get Pat Mahomes rolled up on week 16, and now he can't play in the first week of the playoffs. That's terrible. That's why I'm not drafting a lot of Travis Kelce and Mahomes, even though I'm going to rank them accordingly because they still are elite.
All right. So
it seems that Amon-Ra, let's get back on, Amon-Ra beat CeeDee Lamb. That was a tough one. Amon-Ra slightly, 58% over 42%. We got 19 votes. We had 19 votes. Guys, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This is cutting edge content. I appreciate the votes. I appreciate everybody being here.
All I ask, guys,
just give me, don't give me anything, but show me the respect that my channel deserves. I feel like a lot of times y'all come here just to, is you consistent? Did you start on time today? Like that stuff is disingenuous. I'm giving cutting edge content. This ain't my full-time job. Go to them other channels. They be late too. They be doing a lot of stuff. It's YouTube, right? So just
respect the content that I'm
giving you, not saying I'm like, oh, you better say, if I tell you this, you better do it. But respect that I'm giving you because I'm giving you the gas.
Thank you, Robbie. All right.
All right, let's go on. We got 4 more, guys. So the next one is going to be really, really good too. This is going to be another good one. So let me end this one.
The Fantasy Network.
Yeah, bruh. He said, wow, people clocking you. That's crazy. Yeah, man. They come to my channel and say, and listen, people going to say stuff, man. And I'm different. I could ignore it and just keep doing my content. It's not going to make me yay or nay, right? But it be some of the people that are my, like, I know you know fantasy, you know kind of what I got going on. I'm a growing channel, and you say stuff that kind of is like disingenuous to really what I'm doing. Like if I'm wrong, you say, TD man, I don't believe in that player. That's okay. But clocking me and saying, hey man, you didn't do a video yesterday, and this is, you got to be consistent. That's disingenuous. And then if I miss a waiver wire video, hell yeah, you give it to me. You can't miss no waiver wire video. You can't miss no stars and sits. I don't miss no Sundays. I don't miss none of those days in the season. But in the off season, guys, I got a lot of stuff going on moving. You see, I got a new background. I still ain't even got my stuff up in the background yet. You see, the internet ain't freezing now. I ain't heard not one person outside of Harambe say, TD man, the internet is better now. I moved for that. That's why I moved. That's why it took me a couple of days to do my lives and stuff to get stuff together. Because I got tired of my internet freezing, and then people like, this is Bush League. How you gonna start a channel and you're freezing? So you gotta understand, you gotta give some respect, put some respect on that now. Okay, so let's go on. I don't want to hold up too much. Let me make this next poll. This is gonna be a good one. This is another saucy one, another spicy one.
Okay. All right. This is good. This is going to be a
Good one, guys. You better be ready. Okay. This is a running back and a wide receiver. And it's going to be Tyreek Hill or CMC.
Tyreek Hill
or CMC. Now listen, let me break Tyreek Hill down. I'm not going to go on no tangent too much, but Tyreek Hill, guys, I got to give myself credit. These are my players. A lot of like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tyreek Hill. Let me see some of these other guys. So those are my guys as far as right now, the guys that I've talked about. Tyreek Hill, guys, I was for 3 years ago when he was still in Kansas City.
I think they just had won
a Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken, or lost the Super Bowl. I think they won the Super Bowl. And I said that Tyreek Hill was one of the best players. And I had been saying it from the beginning. You can go back and watch my channel. I think my first top 10 videos, I made a Tyreek Hill video, and I said that he's one of the best players to ever play the game. And I still stand on that. And that gets redundant to people. Who cares about you? I remember one of my homeboys was like, yeah, man, you make good content, man. Like, yeah, everybody know about Tyreek Hill and stuff. Like, no, everybody do not know about no Tyreek Hill. Now, because you know about him now, because I done forced it down your throat. Pause. Appreciate you, Harambe. Appreciate you. Harambe says, B. John a breach if he gets to me at the 7th spot. I'm going with,
yeah, if he falls to you at the 7th
spot, I'm going B. John. But so I've been on Tyreek Hill, guys, from the beginning. As soon as, like his second year in Kansas City, I'm like, this guy's going to be special. He's changing the game with that speed that he has. He's one of the fastest players that I ever saw play, ever really in life. I mean, he might not be Usain Bolt, but I think if he trained, he could finish
with a bronze medal
or something in the 100. Not now, he's older, but when he was younger. He broke records in Georgia for the 200 as a high school guy. So Tyreek Hill is super duper special, and I think, guys, you don't want to miss out on this. So that's how I feel about Tyreek. I don't want to talk about how I was on him, but I was on him. I was telling people to draft him when he got with 2. I said, guys, I'm gonna tell you, I'm the only guys. Please vet me on this. And any of my subscribers, you can talk. You can say this. If I'm wrong, just say, hey, TD man, I just disagree. But no hard feelings. I'm not gonna take it personal. Tell me one person that said that Tyreek Hill was going to be better with Miami with Tua as his quarterback than with Pat Mahomes, because that's exactly what I said. And he's been better with Tua than he's been with Pat Mahomes. He's not going to be able to get the ball to Tyreek. I said it don't matter. It's the yak ability. That's the way I break down the game. Who the hell would thought Tua got the weakest arm in the league is going to be great with a speed receiver? Nobody thought that. They thought he just wanted to throw it underneath. And I said, no, guys. The way the game is played now, if you accurate and these guys can run these routes and you get the ball out there to them, these safeties and linebackers not going to be able to catch them. It's the way this playbook going to be designed. So I've been on Tyreek Hill and I love him. I'm taking him number 1 overall in every single draft. Last year I took him in 90% of all my drafts. When I had the number 1 pick, I took him. In one league, it was a $200 league. and I'm coming and I got the number 1 pick, and I don't take Tyreek Hill, and I'm gonna hate myself forever because of that. I'm sitting here teaching everybody about Tyreek Hill, telling everybody to go down with this ship, and I get caught up too, and I go with Justin Jefferson. Listen, I don't mind going with Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson was a great pick, but I know better. I love Tyreek, and how I'm gonna not pick him up, and he has one of the greatest seasons ever. So I love Tyreek. Moving on to CMC, guys. See, listen, I tell people don't draft CMC number 1 overall because of his volatility, because he's got over 1,000 carries. That don't mean that so you could say I've been wrong, but I've been winning. I've been taking Tyreek Hill over CMC. That's why I want to do that tomato. So just because you don't want to draft a guy doesn't mean that that's a bad pick. A guy could be number 1, but as long as you build your team correctly and accordingly and get guys at the same type of value, it's okay. It's also about going like having your taste, getting your favorite guy, just like a girl. If a guy you dating a girl, it's everybody, all your friends are saying she's beautiful. If you don't believe it and you don't want to date her, that's okay. The whole world can think she's beautiful, but if you don't want her, you don't want to date her, that's fine. You're gonna get somebody else, and they all can say she's ugly. Who cares? You going down with your ship. So to me, I've been fading CMC at the number 1 overall pick because I don't want to have him and then he get hurt on an injury and he had over 1,000 carries. To me, I'm gonna feel bad. But if Tyreek Hill gets hurt, I'm gonna go down with that. Look, that's a wide receiver. It happens. I'm gonna keep moving. If I get B. John Robinson and he goes down, I'm okay with that because he hasn't had but 200 some carries in the NFL. I'm okay with that. But I don't want to get running backs that had 1,000 carries in their career and draft them as number 1 overall pick and then go down. That's why I didn't take Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry was years that I missed on Derrick Henry at pick 6, pick 5 because I'm like I'm not taking him. And it works out sometimes, and sometimes, like, yeah, I guess if I'd have hit him, I might have had a better season, but I'm okay with it. I still got good guys. It ain't like I'm taking Chris Olave number 1 because I'm fading CMC. So
the guy that I want,
and y'all probably know this is obvious, I want Tyreek Hill.
I'm taking
Tyreek Hill over CMC. I'm taking Tyreek Hill as my number 1 overall pick. Okay, so right now I see Tyreek Hill is winning. So let's see what the chat is saying. Charlie says, that's hard. One is a running back and the other is a wide receiver. Right. Lonely B says, I could see the Jets building their offense around Breach even with Rodgers. Me too. That's why I'm on Breach. Harami says, everyone faded Tyreek for fear of regression. Thank you. They did. Not me, though. Not me. And I'm not, you can say I'm taking a victory lap, but that's part of my content. You know, that's part of my brand, right? That's one of my staple guys. That's what probably made a lot of my people that follow me win championships or do really good because I told them about Tyreek Hill. So he said CMC is not a 4th quadrant player. I don't agree. I agree with that. I'm not taking him either because why would you run him in the ground when you already made the playoffs? You don't want him to get hurt. You just signed him to a 2-year extension. So I wouldn't think that CMC will get used a lot in the 4th quadrant. So I think you got to watch out for Isaac Garendo or Elijah Mitchell in the 4th quadrant. But early, CMC gonna get you there. And listen, if you get CMC at the 1-4, 1-5, 1-6, I think that's great value.
I think that's great. I don't
know if you can turn down that value there. Now, if you want, I'm not taking them over. I'm probably not gonna take them over Amon-Ra or Tyreek Hill, and I might not take him over Bijan. So he might have to fall to the 1-7 to me. I'll probably take him over Puka. I'll take him over Puka. Not in a dynasty league, but in a redraft. Rock out. Appreciate that, bro. He said, scared money don't make no money. Right. Facts. That's maybe I need to make a shirt that says that. Guys, remind me to make a shirt that says scared money don't make no money. That's something that I need to make. Maybe put it on a coffee cup. He did, let me see. He did better with Tua. Right, he did. He did. And TZ says the way Miami system is set up too and how they use him makes him a league winner every year. Come on, TZ. Preach. And the only thing that stops him is an injury. Right. But again, I said that nobody else was saying that. Y'all that follow me, I can show you the videos. Come sign up for the Discord. I'm going to post it in the Discord. And the date is on the video. All you do is click on it. You can see the date on the video. And I was like, hey, Tyreek Hill is gonna be special. He's gonna be the #1 wide receiver. And you can go see the comments on there. I'm not taking him over Jamar Chase, man. I'm telling you. So I've been on Tyreek for a long time. Love him. Siobhan says Haran be fat. Zach says I already drafted in some leagues this year, and I stacked Tyreek and Achain in one of them with Derrick Henry on that team too with the honey touches. You killed it. Hey, bro, you gonna win. Hey, you do a great job drafting, man. I think you're gonna win some leagues. You're gonna win a lot of money, bro. You gonna hit big on one of these underdog leagues. You're gonna win $30,000-$40,000. That's just my opinion. I'm gonna speak it in existence, bro, because I believe it. The way the teams that you tell me that you draft. Harami says it's a scenario. Would you rather have CMC, Waddle, and Waddle or Tyreek and IU? Give me Tyreek and IU. Yes. I would take Tyreek. Hopefully I can get Tyreek and Waddle, but if I can't, I take Tyreek and IU.
I'll take Tyreek and IU.
Haramis, Zach says Gus Edwards or Brian Robinson. I'm taking Gus Edwards all day. All day. Siobhan says it's a tough one though. Not for me, but I'm biased. I'm gonna go ahead and take. I'm completely biased. Charlene said it gets colder later in the season. Two kinds of football, right? Hot, cold games, except for indoor games. Facts. That's true. But Miami, that's why they gotta try to get home field advantage so they can play the game that they're gonna play. But that's why I also like Devon Achain because they're gonna use him also in cold games.
Rock Out says,
appreciate you, Rock Out. He says, don't be scared to take risks that's calculated. Right. It's got to be calculated. Don't be crazy, right? It's just like life. You know, when you in the stock market, take a calculated risk. Put $10,000 on Tesla.
Even though you might only have
$20,000. Go put $10,000 on Tesla. You know that people are cars that drive by themselves and all these new technology stuff is big right now. So go take that risk. Because if you don't take it, then you're gonna spend the money some type of way, and it might not be to help you grow.
Remy says, okay,
we got that one.
Charlie said, okay,
we get that. Lonely B says, if I'm at the #1 CMC and my wide receiver options, when my second pick comes around, then Hill and a RB left for my second pick. Okay, so if I'm at the 1, CMC and my wide receiver options, when my second pick comes around, then Hill and a RB left for my second pick. Right. So I guess you're saying that you taking CMC at the #1 pick, but if you #2, you taking Hill.
And then you're going to take a RB with your
second pick.
If I'm wrong on that, bro,
let me know. But I'm pretty sure that's what you mean.
And there's nothing wrong with taking
CMC #1. But listen, I always tell you, don't complain. If you get CMC and he goes down, you can't complain. I'm not going to complain about no guy that I take because I'm already calculated. It's called Occam Razor. And I still can't remember. I don't know. It might have been TZ. Somebody was like, hey, TD, you are Occam Razor type content. You keep it
simple, but it's also
sophisticated at the same time. Like it's like, okay, this is not easy, but you're gonna make it simple.
And that's what I try to do.
Occam Razor. Charlene says, did you hear that the Bills are building a new stadium? Yes, with no cover to it. $7 billion. Wait a minute. I heard they are building a new stadium, but I heard they are also gonna have it's gonna be a dome. I didn't hear that they're gonna be able to, to let snow. I think it might be retractable or something. I thought they was going to be able to keep the snow out on this one. That's what I was thinking. But I could be off, Charlene.
Harami says,
Dolphins don't do well in the snow. Right. Their running game will be there this year. There you go. The Achain. That's why I like them. Charlene says, I took B-John with the 1-on-1 pick. Facts.
It's a dome. Right.
I thought so too, Harami. Yes. Okay, so let's look at this. We got 71% Tyreek Hill, 29% CMC. I agree with that, but that doesn't make it right. But yes, I thought that was a good tomato. Okay, so we got 3 more guys. We're gonna get through this.
Okay. All right, let me end the poll. Right. And I
TZ says, yeah, if you pick the guys like and think they going to produce, I'm okay with how my season turns out. TZ, you preaching? Occam Razor. I agree. But guys, this is what I want to ask y'all. Guys that's been watching me for a while. And I need to do this because I have to, people are coming in and tuning into this live. So I have to broadcast to myself. They might not say, well, I don't like the way the live is set up as vertical. So I have to give them my best foot forward. So I would ask y'all, what other channel has been on Tyreek as early as I was and some of the times when he wasn't that great of a pick? I would like to ask y'all that. To go ahead to try to and be honest. If you say, well, TD, I saw another channel that was on Tyreek Hill as much as you was too. So I just wanted to I got to be able to put that stuff because I got to advertise my channel.
And I think Tyreek Hill
was a great pick because he was going at maybe the 1-7, 1-8, and I was telling people take him at the 1-on-1. This guy's going to win your league.
Siobhan says, I'm in
a dentist chair. Please pray for me. Yes, make sure you get. Hey, the worst part to me is getting the numb. When they numb, that needle goes inside your gum that far. Woo!
All right.
So let's do this one. This is a running back one.
Rock out. Appreciate you,
bro. Rock out says, in fantasy, anything could look crazy until it's proven wrong. Right. Facts.
Facts. Charlene
says, when drafters are zigging, I'm zagging. You're right. That's enough. Listen, that's a terminology. That's called I don't like sloppy seconds. That strategy right there, zigging when they zagging, I agree 100%. That's what I'm doing. Like if everybody's taking running backs, then I'm gonna take the best wide receiver on the board. Or if everybody going quarterback, then I might take a tight end. Like it just depends on what's left on the board, and it takes experience to learn that.
Appreciate that, Rock out.
So real quick before I move on to the next one, I just want to. So guys, if you can, and some of the guys every now and then, if it's a player, if I'm off, if I've been off, like if I'm talking about Daniel Jones or I'm talking about somebody that I was on last year, like a B. John Roberts, like TD, you was on B. John, but hey, he didn't hit. That's fine. I'm okay with that on the chat. But I also won't, if like we in there, we're talking about a video and Tyreek comes out, post that in the comment section. I think that's how I'm going to grow my channel. That's my thing, me and my players. So I just ask if y'all can share that. You ain't gotta donate. I appreciate everybody donating. You don't gotta donate. You don't got to donate. And you don't have to hit the like button. I would appreciate it if you do it. But mostly what I need, guys, just to show the guys, players that I've helped you with, that I was on, nobody else was on, post that in the chat. No smoke blowing, right? Pause. But just post some of the stuff in the chat that guys that I've been on. All right, so let's get this in the other one. This is 2 running backs. We need to get this going. Okay.
Let's get this going. All right. This is 2 running backs. Barkley. Okay. All right, guys. So this next
one right here is going to be Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry.
Saquon Barkley
and Derrick Henry.
And the reason
why I'm high on Saquon Barkley, and I like him a lot this year, I think that this guy has never been on a better team. I think this offensive line, even though Jason Kelce is gone, is still going to be a good run offense, as far as moving guys. If you go according to PFF, that was top 5 last year and year before last. Now, I know Jason Kelce is gone, but I still believe this team is still going to be good in the run game. They still got all-pro tackles there, like Lane Johnson and some of the other young guys at the guard positions. So I think Saquon is going to be destined for a breakout season. They paid him. They're going to use him. He can catch passes. He's dynamic. Also, Derrick Henry. I think Derrick Henry this year, even though he's older, he's 30, I think he's going to get a lot of goal line opportunities, and he's playing on a good offense. So look what Keaton Mitchell and look what Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards had 12 rushing touchdowns. What you think Derrick Henry's going to do? Derrick Henry is still better than Gus Edwards right now.
So he's not more exposed.
than Keaton Mitchell, but Derrick Henry's still a beast to tackle in the open field.
So
Out of those two guys, I'm going with Saquon Barkley. I think both guys are good, but I'd rather have Saquon Barkley and take him maybe at the
112 or
either 2-1 over getting Derrick Henry at the 2-5. And usually I'm going with the best ADP guy, but I think Saquon is going to have a special season.
Okay. So let's move.
Let's go. Let's look at this.
Okay, right now Saquon is
Barkley is winning by 55%, so this is gonna be good.
Yeah.
Charlene says when drafters are zigging, I'm zagging. Great technique. TZ says I don't recall any channel being that high. Right, they wasn't that high on Tyreek, not as high as I was. They liked them, but not as high. Siobhan says cutting edge content. Thank you, Siobhan. I've been following me for a long time. I think you found me through Facebook, right, Siobhan? I'm praying for you too. Tail dog, what's up, bro? He says, bro, would you target a Hurts, Smith stack or Stroud Collins?
Man, it's about the quarterback.
I think Devontae Smith is going to be better than
Nico Collins
because of so many mouths to feed. I could be wrong. Nico could end up being the number one guy. We don't know. Any of these guys could end up being number one. All three guys could be really good. They all could be like top 14, right? We never know. I definitely believe in Stroud over Hurts. I think Hurts is going to be top 12. I think he's going to have a good season. I think he's going to be very efficient, but I don't think he's going to get as many as rushing touchdowns. So I think I'm going to. I don't know how your scoring is. If your quarterback scoring is like different, where they like you can get a lot of points for a quarterback booming, throwing for 3 to 4 touchdowns. I would say go with Stroud and Collins. And that's what I would go with Stroud and Collins and squeeze, and whenever Collins hit, I'm okay with it. But know that you got to get other wide receivers that's going to be more consistent, because you're not going to be able to count on Collins to be a top 12 guy every week. He could be, but I wouldn't count on it. So I would draft guys that's going to be consistent with him. But I would go with the CJ Stroud upside. Thank you, Tail Dog. Appreciate that, bro. Rock Out says no sloppy joes. Yes, sir. TZ says I had Hill on my radar and planned to get him 2 years ago after my first season playing fantasy because he became a game breaker, and you confirmed my decision on how to draft him right. And that's what I think fantasy football content people are confirming, because people are not dumb. You can't tell people to do dumb stuff and they're going to do it. People kind of like, they might be like, tomato, and then you can help them make a decision. And that's what I try to be. That's why I always tell y'all to go down with your ship. I'm never telling y'all what to do. I like to give you players that I like Rashid Shaheed, but I don't want to tell you better bash Rashid Shaheed over Olave. I'm not going to sit there and tell you to do that, because that's not fun for fantasy. Charlene said, always look at what the draft gives you and pick the strongest player. Facts. Haram says, good one, TD. That's a controversial one. Thank you. I voted Barkley. Zach Seaman said I voted Barkley. Harami voted Henry. Tomato. TZ says Barkley all day by a mile. The Ravens, like Cowboys, lost a lot of the old line. Look it up. Barkley still winning. Charlene says, can you make an argument with both players? You can make an argument with both players. You can. Lonely Beast says the Eagles had the number 1 yards before contact for the RBs last year and bottom 5 in yards after contact for the RBs. I like Barkley's situation. That's great stats right there. I love that.
Siobhan says Henry.
King Henry. Charlene says Henry is the king all day long. I can't say y'all wrong. Especially you can get them later, right? At this 2-5, but they in the same tier though. So if you got to make a decision, you're not going to be able to get both. Most likely. I don't know. Maybe at the turn you could. Maybe you could get Saquon at the 112 and then King Henry at the 2-1. You could do that maybe. Maybe at
The
the
111 and the
2-2.
Rock out says Henry
will live in the red zone. Yes. Ian Taylor says TD putting in that work. Yes, sir, bro. It's getting closer to football. I'm pushing through, man. I got there's a lot of stuff going on. Stuff I could be doing for work. The second class that I'm supposed to be taking, I'm like, nah, man, I need to do a video. And I'm doing another video before Fantasy After Dark, too. Hector, what's up, bro? He says, Henry. Charlene says, I love this podcast. If you stop doing these voting shows, I'll stop watching. Just kidding. Right. Thank you, Charlene.
Thank you. I'm glad
y'all like this voting setup that I got. I like it too. I decided to do that. Because I know the voting brings up the algorithm. So I'm like, you know what? Tomato, that's what I'm gonna do. And
also, I want y'all
to I'm gonna give y'all a form to give me the tomato questions, and I'm gonna take them. Now, first I'm gonna do it for the members. So the members, I'm gonna tell you, give me some tomatoes up to 5, and I choose one, and I build my top 10, and I do that once a week, maybe on like Saturdays when the season starts.
Rami says,
agree, rock out 20 touchdowns for the King this year. I think that's possible. I'm not gonna say that's not no cap. I don't even think that's like cutting edge. I mean, maybe it's cutting edge, but I just think he can get 20 touchdowns. I agree. Kazi, what's up, bro? He said they both incentives up to an extra $2 million. Okay, so I like both to ball out this year. I like both of them too. I think both of them can be top 12 running backs. Lonely B says if either gets 20 touchdowns, it would be Henry, right? Barkley will break off more explosive runs, and I see Henry only having touchdown upside. I agree, TZ. Harami says Henry going to be a clock killer, right? At the end of the game, but I do think Lamar's going to throw the ball more. But once they get up and Lamar gets his 3 touchdowns, passing touchdowns, then I think they're going to give it to Henry.
Harami says
with the offense and get stronger as the game and the season goes on.
All right.
We got 2 more. Let's get these 2 more out of here. Let me stop this and poll. Start another poll.
All right, there you go. All right. This is another receiver one. All right, the next one, guys,
is going to be Devontae Smith or Jalen Waddle. Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle. Listen, I love Devontae Smith. I think Devontae Smith is a great route runner. I think he's a better route runner than A.J. Brown, but he's not the boom player that A.J. Brown is. But Devontae Smith can play. So I like him this year. I think he's going to have definitely a top 24 season. I think he has potential to be a top 12. I think he has a chance to be top 12, being very efficient. Going on to Waddle, I think Waddle going to have some boom games. I think Waddle going to have 2 or 3 games where he go for 30 points plus. So I like Waddle as the boom guy. I don't think he's a great route runner, but he's good. He's top 24 in route running, I would say, give or take. So that's good enough in the NFL. But he's very fast and he's very explosive. And you got a guy like Tyreek Hill on the other side. They can't double team. They're going to double team Tyreek. They're going to try to take Tyreek away. So Waddle going to always have one-on-one coverage. And he's never going to have a safety over top of him unless they run in cover 2. And then you are giving up other things. You're giving up the run game to Devon Achain. And I do think teams will play cover 2 on them. But that's when I think you're going to see Devon Achain eat. So I'm going to choose Waddle out of this tomato because I like him for the boom points. I think those 30 points could win you a league by 3 points because he scored so much. Then Devontae Smith might give you 18, 19. Yeah, that's good, but I want the boom. That's how you win.
So right now,
Waddle is winning at 60%.
Charlene says that PJ
sandwich or grilled cheese sandwich. At this point in time, I'm going grilled cheese. I'm going with the grilled cheese sandwich. Zach says I voted Waddle. Harambe says I'm waddling. TZ says Waddle needs to stay healthy, but I take Waddle all day. Right. He needs to stay. He that does make me a little bit nervous. That's a great point, TZ. He did get hurt some game. I'm like, damn, man, what happened? You're back? What the hell is going on? You hurt already? It's only been 2 plays. So he does need to stay healthy. Devontae Smith stayed healthy. So that could be a decision factor. Man, that's a good one. I forgot about Waddle getting hurt because I love Devontae Smith.
If you got room
to go with a boom guy, you can go with Waddle. But if you need a safe guy and you already got if you got Tyreek, go with Waddle. But if you
need a safe guy, you went with
somebody else that's a little bit more volatile, then I think Devontae Smith is the safer play.
Kind of like
Amon-Ra and CeeDee Lamb is. CeeDee Lamb got more upside, but Amon-Ra safer. I think Devontae Smith is safer, but Jalen Waddle got more upside. Charlene says, I like Tua more than Hurts. Hurts runs the ball more. Right. Waddle. Okay.
I see what you're saying.
I don't think Hurts gonna run the ball that much, but that makes sense. Tua don't run the ball at all. They put the ball in the air 35 to 40 times.
All right. Looks like
Waddle is winning this one.
Lonely B says
Smith packed on some muscle this offseason. I know, bro. That's the Slim Reaper. TZ says, yeah, these are tough, so I'll go with the upside. Right. Facts. All right. Let's go ahead and knock this last one out, guys. I appreciate everybody being here. We've been killing it. We've been killing it.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. All right.
This is a running back. This is another good one.
This is another really good one. Okay. All right. Okay. So the next one, guys,
is going to be between Tomato, Devon Achain, or Jahmyr Gibbs.
Devon Achain
or Jahmyr Gibbs.
So
Devon Achain, guys, he's volatile with his injuries. He's a smaller guy, pause, but he's probably the most explosive running back in the NFL right now.
And so with
the offense that he's on, when you got Jalen Waddle and Tyreek, safety's got to back up 4 or 5 more extra yards than normal. So I like having Devon Achain, and that's why I'm drafting him where I'm drafting him, I'm drafting him in the early second round now. And he's moved up into my top 5 running backs because of what this offense is going to be and also him picking up weight.
Going to Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs
is the second most explosive running back,
in my opinion. Anybody could say both. They could say Jahmyr over Devon Achain, or you could say Devon Achain. That's why I want to do tomato. I'm going with Devon Achain over Jahmyr. Jahmyr is explosive, but he has another guy that he has to compete with on the goal line, which is the honey touches. Devon Achain does too, but I think Devon Achain, just like Jahmyr, if he's balling, they're gonna give him an opportunity. They're not gonna let him rush for 130, 140 yards and let Raheem Mostert and Wright get all the goal line touches. Mostert will get a couple goal line touches, but they're going to give Devon Achain some goal line touches. And you saw it in some games where Devon Achain ran that ball in. You would think, oh, Mostert coming in. Mostert didn't come in that time. But Mostert was, I would say, the 60%, 40% guy. This year, I think it's going to be more 50-50. If you get it
down there, they're going to
let you give you a chance to punch it in.
That's why Devon Achain picked up weight. Jahmyr Gibbs is very explosive. I think he's good.
He got a better offensive line. But I think just because of the Dolphin weapons, it's still gonna it's gonna even it out. Just even though Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery got probably the best run scheme in the game, outside of maybe San Francisco. But I think big plays, running plays is going to be happening with Dolphins. So I'm going with Devon, Achain. I like Jameer. I'm just high on Achain. I can't leave that upside on the board. All right, let's see what's going on. Right now it's 50-50. This is a great one. Charlene says, do more voting tonight. Okay, that's what we will. We'll do that. Me and Arami will do Fantasy After Dark. We'll do more voting.
Harami says Gibbs
for me. I like that. Hector says Gibbs. Sir, Smack, what's going on, sir? Appreciate you being here. He says Gibbs over Achain all day. Got you. Siobhan says Achain. Sir says at the back end pick, you might be able to get both. I agree. And that's very explosive. That's cutting edge content. I like that, sir. You know, I might try to do that. I might try to go Achain and Jameer just to try to get that squad. Wow.
Arabi says,
I like Achain too. Also, don't get it twisted. Right. Charlene says Gibbs is more healthier and quicker and younger too. I don't know about that, Charlene. I think they're the same age. And he might be quicker than Achain. I think Jameer Gibbs is quicker than Achain. He's quicker. He's not faster, but he's quicker than Achain. I agree with that. You can tell that. I agree with that.
But I don't
think Gibbs is more healthier, but I think they like the same age. I could be totally wrong though. Somebody vet me on that. What's their age, Charlene? Let me know. Put it in the chat. TZ says Gibbs can be more consistent, but Achain gets more boom. Right, but Gibbs is hard to get where he goes. I tend to get Taylor or Kyron because at the spot, I need a guy who's going to have less competition. Right.
Chef,
what's going on, bro? He says Gibbs in Dynasty, Achain in best ball. Ooh, he broke it down. Because you got to go in best ball. You got to go with the boom. It's about boom in the best ball because you don't have to make stars and sits decision. The computer makes it for you.
You don't have to set a lineup.
And so so you can play Achain and just let him, when he boom, you got him in there. I like the way you broke it down. Rock Guy says, give me Gibby. Yes, sir.
Sir says, I think you
can also get Taylor at the end. He's going to explode. You know what? I think he's going to get more carries and more opportunities than everybody thinking because I don't think they want to run Anthony Richardson into the ground. So I agree. I like Taylor. I haven't got to a lot of Taylor. But Taylor is going to be sneaky good. This is
going to be a good
running back year. Maybe we wrong. Maybe some of these guys, knock on wood, go down. But I think it's a lot of good running backs going in the first 2 rounds this year. Last year it was ugly. I wouldn't get any running backs.
Lonely B says
Mostert had more red zone touches than any running back in the league last year. His red zone touches could go down, but they won't just disappear. I would say, Lonely B, a lot of that was when Achain, Achain missed like 4 or 5 games. So if Achain don't miss those games, I don't know if Mostert had the same amount of goal line touches. Because you remember when Achain was hot for those 2 games,
he was a top 5 guy
both weeks, and Mostert wasn't getting that many red zone touches. But when Achain got hurt, that's when Mostert started balling and was getting a lot of touches.
Zach says at
Chief, agree with that. Gibbs equals Dynasty, Achain equals best ball. Redraft. I like that breakdown. TG says
both between
those two, I'll take Gibbs. But between those two, I'll take Gibbs. Gotcha.
All right, so it looks
like Gibbs won it. I went with Achain, but it looks like Gibbs won it slightly. This is really good content, guys. Guys, make sure you tune in later tonight for Fantasy Football After Dark for 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Chef says these startups right now are fantastic for running backs. I agree. Everyone forcing wide receivers. You preaching, bro. Can get any running back outside Bijan and Breach round 3 and beyond. Right. And I'm taking, hey man, in one draft, I got Bijan and Breach because I drafted early in the season. People wasn't on them, and I got Bijan and Breach. I was doing it in my mock drafts the first 3 to 4 weeks too. First 2 to 3 weeks, I was getting Bijan and Breach, and then people started, taking those guys.
Kazi says I
Wouldn't
wouldn't.
mind drafting both at the turn. I actually want to try that now. Charlene says, remember that 70-point game? I know, right? From Achain. Woo! And Mostert had like 20 points too. You know what I'm saying? Sarah says 70% of Achain yards came in 4 games. Right. And so what if he can stay healthy for 8 games? I'm willing to take that. And if he goes down after 8 games, I'm okay with that. I'm in the lead. I'm in the lead of my league. Right? I'm top 3 teams in my league. Chef says that's fire. Great job. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I'm evolving, guys. I'm evolving. I'm finding my niche. This is something that I'm going to continue to do, especially with my internet. Guys, you see I ain't had not one problem with my internet. Not one problem. That's why I had to get out of that house. And I told y'all for a year and a half, almost 2 years, my internet freezing. I couldn't grow as quickly as I wanted to.
Sir says Achain had
22% of the carries last year. Are we drafting him at his ceiling? Yes, because he got hurt. And I think we got to draft him at his ceiling because we want that potential boom. We know like that 70 points, you won that week. So we want guys that can do that and win those weeks. So I'm willing to take it, man. If you don't hit, I think it's okay. I had a homeboy, and I've done it a couple times in some of my leagues. He drafted Antonio Gibson like 3 years ago in the first round. Gibson, he didn't get used that much, and he still won his league because he had Cooper Kupp that year that Cooper Kupp went for the Triple Crown. Also, he traded Travis Kelce because he had 2 tight ends. He traded Travis Kelce for Austin Eckler when Austin Eckler had a bad first game, and he ended up being the RB1 that year. So, and he drafted him in like the 3rd or 4th round. He didn't draft Eckler then, but he drafted Travis Kelce in like the 3rd or 4th round. So listen, guys, you can
miss on a guy
at that ADP, and you can still hit.
You can still win your league because you taking an opportunity. If you
do hit on all of that, then you have an undefeated season. TG said I drafted Gibbs last year and had to deal with him all year until he boomed. But this year he's going to get more touches and to trust the O-line of Detroit over Miami. They in the dome and when it gets cold, right? Yeah, it can get cold on Miami too, but not in Miami and Detroit gonna always be in the dorm. But they do play a lot of the NFC North division, which is cold outside.
Outside of Minnesota,
but Chicago, it's cold.
Let me see here. Sir says Mostert is going
to get hurt. Jalen Wright is for a low-key value late for the season. Yeah, he's a good stash. He's a good handcuff. Charlene says, love this show. Everyone is explaining their opinions. Right.
Chef says,
I like Wright also, but believe Wilson will get carries over him this year. Right. Yeah. I don't think I think Wilson might get cut. They might cut Wilson this year.
But I get what you're saying. Charlie
said that's how we learn, period. Facts. Harami says Sir Smacktastic is a hilarious name.
I appreciate you being here,
Smacktastic. Appreciate you, bro. Also, you too, Chef. Appreciate you being here. 2025, I'm full seeing on Jalen. Me too, because it's gonna be Achain and Jalen, and both of these guys are gonna be like Mostert and Achain, or a little bit of David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, but it's gonna be speed over power and speed. It's gonna be 2 speed guys.
Zach says Devontae
Smith or DK.
To me, it depends. I probably would rather go with
Devontae. I'll probably go with Devontae Smith for the safe. But if I already got Amon-Ra, I'm probably going with DK. But if I don't got a safe target guy, then I'm probably going with Devontae. Because DK is volatile, but I want that boom. So that's how I'm looking at it. But in a vacuum, I'm going to say Devontae Smith. I think we did this before. I'm going to go with Devontae. And I think Harambe said DK last time too. Sir Smack Tech says, appreciate it, Harambe. Yes, sir. Harami is an emoji guy, and with the names and stuff, man, he's very good at that. Go check him out on his channel. He got Harami's World. Zach says I chose DK in one of my recent drafts over Devontae Smith. Had that tomato happen. Right. Lonely B says Wright is a great handcuff. An injury to Mostert or Achain and the touches would be 50-50 with Wright getting half the touches as long as he can pass block. He might not be a great pass blocker, but Mike McDaniels can draw up plays to keep him out of that scenario. Same thing he does with Achain.
Sir, Smack
Texas says ADP 44 for DK. 66 catches, 1,000 yards, 119 targets. I think that's what he means.
I might be
off a little bit with that.
Charlene says Ray
Davis is still looking good. Might take Cook job. I know you've been force feeding that, Charlene. You might be. Hopefully, I don't hope you're right, but it could be. I love James Cook. I'm drafting James Cook a lot. Chef says, yep, and been buying Malik Washington also. Miami's offense is going to be much better this year. Wow. Much better? That's almost like breaking records. TG says, DK all day. I like him this year. I love DK. He's a boom guy. I got a lot of DK in my dynasty leagues. Sir says, JSN and Lockett at 169 targets together. Right. I like JSN. I think he's going to break out in the fourth quadrant, maybe third quadrant. Sir says Seahawks offense coming up. Smith is the number 2. Okay. Okay, guys. So listen, I'm gonna get ready to get out of here. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'm gonna go live before the 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time Fantasy Football After Dark. I'm gonna give y'all a video. Probably might just be a regular video. I don't know if it's gonna be a live or not, but I appreciate everybody tuning in. Harami says people sleeping on Seattle passing game this year. Right. So they slept on Geno a couple years ago. Chef says Buffalo was running the ball a lot down the stretch of 24. Their running backs are so cheap right now outside of Cook. So buy Davis and Gore. Yeah. And Cook is also a good value too. He's going into the 4th or 5th. That's good value. Yep. Anytime, sir. Anytime, bruh. All right, guys. Y'all be safe. See y'all later. Peace.